airports were the punctuation marks of my life, but this was the life sentence of the masses. Briefcases and nameless faces, clad in masks of sameness, filed in criss-cross patterns by, lives flashed in shades of grey before my eyes, disembodied limbs striding into a painting, not a photograph, because I was and still am living history. Barefoot, because I owned no shoes, I sat apart on the cusp of east and west, on the floor of Victoria Station, with the dirt of India under my fingernails. I was a part of the scenery that day, but I was not a sheep of any description, even black. I was a butterfly, a freshly emerged from an airline cocoon, flitting, alighting, taking flight on wings of autonomy, wearing my youth like I wore my colours, without ceremony, seeking an essence that we'd left behind when we dived into industry, before it digested us. Well, these were the cogs in the machine, the wheels that kept the city turning, this human colony of ants. They swarmed, excreted by trains in an endless gush, a diarrhea of worker ants and shopping queens inhaling the stench of conformity, heads bent in determined quest of an irony of labour-saving gadgets they work so hard to afford, of the ultimate purchase which lost its promise once procured. The holy grail was supersize or merchandise or bargain bin, but it failed to fill the void within their chest cavity. Well, I had seen light in the eyes of leprosy and poverty clad in a sunset of colour and smiles. No flowers bloomed here. This butterfly is settled now. Life has stitched a hem around my wings, but inside I'm still travelling in time, reading history, writing this poem, sewing period clothes to find a home for my nostalgia. Once I cooked over fires, I drank from streams, I lived without electricity, I washed laundry in a dustbin lid until I found a bucket. Well, nowadays I'd buy one, but it didn't cross my mind then, and I laugh at my simplicity. And then I realise I have lost the keys to Eden. I have become an ant. I have filled in forms and stood in lines, and I have been afraid to stand out. My view has panned out. I've realised the crowd is comprised of individuals. Each cog in the machine is another me, a centre of a universe, on the edge of a black hole, facing life, without parole, trying to keep my balance and live with soul. We choose our own syntax, but in the end, we all share a sentence. And this sentence, no matter how I phrase it, leads inevitably towards a full stop.